Hi guys, welcome back to Seduce Me. Yuki here. We're moving on to Andrew's, I guess, route. Yeah, we left off with being in his car and going out to eat to get something from Pink Lady, but right now we're still in the car. I've actually been there before. Huh? Huh?
Really? Oh, crap. I thought it would be a surprise. Damn.
You don't seem like the type to curse. I laughed. He seemed to want to impress me. Why though? I let the idea slip as we fell back into silence. It was peaceful, but at the same time, I didn't know how to talk to Andrew. The only thing that connected us was the company and my grandfather. He was funny, sure, but he was still somewhat a stranger. I don't. So, how about them bears? Andrew let out a laugh. I didn't know what was so funny, but seeing him laugh made me laugh a bit too.
I'm a doofus. I don't watch sports. I barely know anything about sports.
You and me both. Not even if you're a Cubs or a Sox fan?
I'm from the north side. Take a guess.
So, Cubs.
That's right.
We both laughed. Chicago sports talk was a silly topic, but it was a start. It was better than to chat on the road than listen to the car buzz.
You know, my mom always thought I'd go into sports. My dad wrecked that dream of hers real quick when he sent me to college prep. Meh, that was 6 years ago, though.
Wait, how old are you? Really? How old are you?
I'm 20,
Oh.
turning 21 in July. Why?
And you're in line for the CEO position? You're so young.
Why not? You are too, remember?
And suddenly I did remember. I was 18 and being pushed to be CEO. My dad would force me to try and take the position right after I graduate. I sighed at the thought.
Did I say something wrong?
No, it's nothing. I saw Andrew's lips pressed together. He was blaming himself. Shoot, I opened my mouth to say something before he smiled.
Well, just so you know, I'm the kind of guy that likes to stop the microwave at 1 second just to feel like I'm defusing a bomb. Pretty cool, huh?
Irrelevant, but okay. I couldn't help but laugh. Where did that come from?
Well, you sighed, so I took a risk and tried to make you smile. I got a laugh, so 10 bonus points for me.
That's so sweet. I laughed and smiled at him, and as he kept his eyes on the road. He also had a smile, though, the same goofy grin he had before. I had to admit, it was cute. However, the car suddenly began to play a song suddenly. I watched as Andrew effortlessly moved a hand from the wheel and pressed a button on his dash. His phone was connected to his car?
Andrew Lewis speaking.
Andrew, can you come to the office for a little bit? Your father needs a few folders and he left them here. They're in the meeting room.
Aww.
Really? Crap. Okay, I'll be there shortly.
He pressed the same button on the dash on the side, slumping his shoulders.
I'm sorry. Can we stop by the Anderson office really fast? It's on the way and it'll be really quick.
Better be, I don't want to run into my dad. Yeah, sure, I guess. Andrew nodded before traveling towards the city. I had only seen the building once, but it was the base of operations for the Anderson Toys Company. I never went inside, and I truly wasn't sure if I ever wanted to. I'd have to eventually, but until then I remained ignorant of how the office looked. There was curiosity, yes, but I didn't know if I wanted to follow through with it. You pulled into a parking lot of a gigantic office building with the company's name in bold letters at the top. I had to roll down my window to peek my head out to see the top. Yep, still as big as I remember it.
I'll zip in and zip out. It's just to pick up some documents, nothing special.
I'll go in too.
Huh? Are you sure?
Yeah, might as well see the inside after 18 years. I exited the car and closed the door, walking to be at Andrew's side. The building was huge, I had to admit, but I needed to feel the curiosity in my gut. What was it like on the inside? Andrew and I made our way inside as he guided me to where he needed to go. All the while I took in the sight. It was still a corporate office, but it had this hint of fun flair with toys in every corner and on every desk. I felt a smile grow on my face at the sight. This was my grandfather's company, all right. Like Disney. Andrew and I entered the meeting room where a pile of folders topped with a strangely familiar purple pencil sat neatly on the table.
All right, there they are. Let's get them in.
What is going on here?
No! My blood ran cold at the voice. I'd know that voice anywhere. I turned to see my very angry father glaring at me and Andrew and blocking the doorway out. Andrew turned with the documents he needed in hand, almost dropping them at the sight of my dad.
Mr. Anderson,
Louis, why is my daughter with you?
Well, sir, that is... I was just...
Stop mumbling!
I recognized those words and grew furious at the sound of them leaving his mouth. Why was he so mad? What was so wrong about me being with Andrew? What was his deal? Speak up. Enough was enough. I stepped forward, placing myself between my dad and Andrew. I came with Andrew after school. We were going to go out to a cafe together.
What did I tell you about?
When did you get to decide who I'm with? I don't live under your roof anymore. I live in grandfather's house. I can take care of myself. I can choose who to be close to. I could practically feel red anger rise in my dad's face, but at this rate I couldn't care. He had been controlling for long enough. I don't have to listen to you anymore. I have my own life now. I can go to college, get a degree, and do what I want. I guess I have you to thank for making me work endlessly for good grades and scholarships. I felt my courage bubble in my gut. I was finally able to fully speak my mind. I wasn't in his house anymore. I was my own woman. The moment you made me move out, it was the moment you gave up your right to decide what I do with my life. If I want to go to college and travel, then I can go to college and travel. If I want to give up running for the CEO title, I can give up for running for the CEO title. If I want to meet with Andrew for cinnamon rolls, then I'm going to meet Andrew for cinnamon rolls. Repetitive and trying. Okay. My dad stepped back, staring wide-eyed at me. I felt like the slap he gave me was repaid tenfold just with my words. I wasn't a child anymore. I wasn't his pawn anymore. I could do what I wanted to do. Come on, Andrew, let's go. I began to walk towards my father, who stepped back and let me and Andrew pass without another word. I continued walking, retracing Andrew's steps to find the exit of the building. As we reached the car, I let out a large chunk of air I was holding in before getting in. Andrew followed into the driver's seat and looked at me.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm much better now.
Let me just say, that was pretty cool.
I smiled and gently nudged him. Come on, let's go get some cinnamon rolls. I want cinnamon rolls now. Lily and Kay greeted us with happy smiles, giving us cinnamon rolls and coffee practically on the way onto the house. Practically on the house. Can't speak. I was pretty convinced Kay thought this was a date and wanted to make the situation more romantic than it needed to be. Nevertheless, Andrew and I chatted about ourselves. Right after college prep, he interned for the Anderson Company and gave my grandfather's favor. His dad took advantage and got Andrew a job in the company part-time. However, Andrew only worked there to learn more from grandfather versus actually trying to learn how to be CEO. I was almost jealous. Soon, though, we had spent the entire afternoon together and it was getting dark and cloudy. Andrew drove me home, picking us up some Paradise Parlor for dinner, his treat. We stopped at the gates where Andrew walked me up to the front door.
I had a fun time. Thanks for coming out and having some coffee with me.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for bringing me out. I smiled as Andrew nodded to me, turning to head for his car. I stood there, watching him leave when the rain started to fall. Andrew, unfortunately, was caught under the sudden rain and started racing to his car. As I turned to unlock my door, I heard him stop running.
Wait!
I turned back to see him facing me through the rain. He was getting soaked, but he remained looking at me with an almost adoring look in his eyes. What is it? Andrew quickly ran over, stopping as he reached the awning of the mansion and stared at me. He was totally drenched from the rain, but he didn't seem to care.
Can I be stupid for a moment?
Oh! guess?
Listen, you're probably the most interesting woman I've ever met. You're not afraid to be you, and that part of you makes you adorable.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Was he confessing to me? This was beyond surreal, but he continued.
I know this is stupidly crazy, but I really like you, and I know we've only just met. But I really want to be your friend, and maybe more, but if you're not cool with that, that's okay. I mean, you're way out of my league and stuff, so I'll understand.
Oh, he's so cute. Holy crap, he was confessing! I stared wide at him as he confessed. What was I going to say? We had just met, but he was cute and funny. What was even weirder was that he reminded me of myself. He had an overbearing father, and the one person that cared was grandfather. Andrew didn't know his future, and neither did I. It was scary how similar we were. Maybe it was a sign. I could hear my grandfather's laughter replayed from a distant memory. Was this whole thing set up by him? Was he setting this up now? Angel or not, I could only set my mind on what was happening now. Andrew had laid out his feelings for me, and I had to reply. The question was, what was I going to say? I liked that. Why not? He was cute and funny, and we seemed to work well together. I smiled at him, and he smiled back with his goofy smile.
Wait, really? Really? Great!
Oh,
wow!
so cute.
I totally thought I was being stupid and was gonna get kicked in the shin or something.
If only there were nice guys like him in the world. I felt myself let out a laugh. Why would I kick you in the shin?
I don't know. Stupid thought, huh?
Andrew and I laughed before I unlocked the door. Come on, let's get you dried up. The rain should pass soon, so you can stay over until it does.
Oh no, I couldn't possibly.
I insist. Andrew smiled gently and nodded before stepping into the house after me.
Hey, didn't you have servants and stuff?
He remembers. Huh? What do you mean?
Huh? Never mind. Must have been a party arrangement thing.
Months went by since Andrew's confession. We were happy, and eventually my graduation came along. The rest of the story could almost be passed over. I graduated from school as one of the top 10 students of my class. My family was proud, even my dad. Maybe it was because I did my best in school. Maybe it was because I was finally a woman in his eyes. Andrew, who later became my boyfriend, worked hard in the company, but often took time off to be with me. We ended up going out and learning about each other more and more as each day went by. You will not die on my computer. There you go. As for his family, his mother was extremely happy that he finally got a girlfriend. Surprisingly, I was his first. This, to me, was shocking. His father wasn't too thrilled, but after I introduced myself and got to know his parents, his dad came to love me like a daughter. But what of my future? Well, with Andrew's support, I finally decided to stand up for myself. A year after I graduated, Andrew and I presented our cases, and the board decided to have Andrew step into the CEO position of the Anderson Toys Company. My father was beyond shocked. I congratulated Andrew and went to the University of Chicago to get a degree, while Andrew dedicated himself full-time to the company. Andrew vowed to respect the wishes of the late CEO and help the company become an even grander company. Andrew had a large amount of heart, so it was easily accomplished. My grandfather would have been proud to see how Andrew helped it shine. With the CEO position filled, my father had no choice but to let me decide my future, which made me happy beyond compare. No longer would I have the future scaring me into a corner. I could choose my life on my own. That being said, I was still scared of where the future was going to take me. What did I want to do? Did I want to help Andrew build the company? Did I want to venture off on my own? Andrew reassured me that he would support me and help me through whatever I decided to do. I was grateful and would never forget that promise. I was happy, and nothing could shake me down from that happiness. One morning, a good couple years after Andrew and I started going out, I woke up and took in all that had happened as if it was all a dream. My life seemed to fall perfectly into place. It was almost surreal.
Is everything as you wanted, sweetie?
I sharply turned my head to see a woman dressed in a gold and black gown staring at me with unnatural red eyes. For some reason, I felt as if she was someone familiar. I just couldn't place my finger on it. She twirled around a purple pencil, smiling to me with a happy look. I, however, wasn't happy to have such a sudden intruder. Who are you?
There's no need to worry about who I am. I just wanted to make sure you got what you desired. I didn't want to just leave you empty-handed.
What I desired? That was making no sense, yet in my heart I felt like it did. Something about her was making my heart both elated and angry, but I couldn't pin down why. How did she even appear in my room in the first place? Whoever you are, you need to leave. I will not hesitate to call the police.
Oh, I'm leaving all right. I just wanted a small pick-me-up. Chasing down boys and bringing them home was a hard job and took a lot out of me.
You're going to steal my energy again? Dang it, I thought we were already over this. I suddenly felt weak, staring at the woman. I felt warm and fuzzy inside my body, and I wanted the woman to cure me. How was I feeling like this?
Would you mind if I steal a little kiss for the road? It'll be a long trek to where I'm going, and I need to make sure I have the energy to get there. It's only fair since I helped you get your little happy ending, no?
I felt myself nod. What was I doing? The woman smiled before walking over, leaning over me and kissing my cheek. I felt waves of energy deplete from my body through my cheek. I felt elated and confused, but I almost moaned at the feel of the kiss. After a short moment, the woman finally stepped away with the lick of her lips. She rubbed a finger over her lips as she stepped away from me. I couldn't help but stare blankly at her in surprise and confusion.
Lovely. Now, this is the last time you'll see me. I hope you and your sweet Andrew have a wonderful life together.
The woman placed the purple pencil into the cleavage of her dress and began to leave the room. I was too stunned to move, but I watched as the woman opened my balcony window, floated up, and dropped from the balcony.
And thus, my price is paid.
Foreshadowing? I heard her voice echo in my mind before I heard the snapping of a pencil, breaking my thoughts. What was I thinking about? Oh yes, my life. I let my mind wander to my future before my phone started ringing. I instantly picked it up. Hello?
Hey, can you come over to the office? I need your help in something.
Yeah, sure. What's wrong?
Come over and I'll explain.
Okay, I'll see you in a bit. I grew worried. What was wrong? Did something happen? My mind began to sort through possibilities that could have occurred with Andrew. Luckily, I learned how to drive and got a car as a graduation gift from my mother. How she managed to get me a brand new car without Dad knowing was beyond me. Lucky. I quickly drove and ran through the building, being led to a room with my parents, Andrew's parents, and Andrew himself. Huh? What's going on? I watched as my father stood up and walked over to me. I watched and waited. What was he going to do? To my surprise, my father kissed my head and smiled down at me. Dad?
I'm sorry.
About time! What do you mean?
I've been hard on you practically all your life, and here you are doing what you want to do. Are you happy?
Very much so. My dad's smile was foreign, but I felt major elation just seeing it. Maybe it was sappy to say, but I never imagined I would see a smile like this on him.
I love you, sweetie. You may not have followed the path I wanted you to follow, but if you're happy in the end, then there's nothing else that would make me happier.
Finally! Man, those words should have been said years ago, not just several years, like, she was what, 20? 2 years? 20? 18? Yeah, 20. I felt my white as water. Did he really say the 3 words I never thought he would say to me? Was this really happening? My dad kissed my forehead before going back to stand near Andrew's father. I looked to Andrew, very confused but grateful to have heard those words. What's going on, Andrew?
You know I love you, right?
Yes, and I love you too. Before I knew it, Andrew walked over to me and held my hands. I stared up at him, wondering what was going on.
I love you a lot. You're sweet, funny, courageous, and absolutely wonderful. I couldn't have asked for a better girlfriend.
Andrew. Andrew brought my hands to his lips and kissed over my knuckles, just as he did at the party several years ago.
It's been a couple of years since we've been going out, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Andrew, you're avoiding the question.
I know, but for good reason.
And what reason is that? Andrew smiled and took a small box out from his pocket. I stared wide-eyed as he opened it before me and got on one knee.
This is all very sudden, I know, but I want you to know that I care for you so much, and I want to continue caring for you as long as I live. I definitely don't deserve you, but will you marry me?
I felt my heart beating wildly in my chest. He was proposing! He was proposing! I couldn't stop myself from jumping up and down in happiness. Yes, I will! Andrew smiled widely as he held me as tears started falling down my cheeks. He stood and wrapped his arms around me before he kissed me lovingly. I felt Andrew slip the ring on my ring finger as I kissed back, uncaring of the cheering going on in the room. I could hear that more people had entered and started celebrating our engagement, but I didn't mind. Andrew gently pulled away and smiled down at me.
I love you.
Feeling bold, I stretched up on my tiptoes and kissing him with the same amount of love he gave me. He was shocked, but I felt him relax in my arms as he kissed me back. I didn't want to wake up if this was indeed a dream. I felt light as a feather, not wanting to ever let go of this man in my arms. There were no words that could describe the emotion within me. I felt joy, happiness, ecstatic, high all at once. Here I was, holding the man I wanted to be with the rest of my life, like nothing else mattered. I vowed to cherish him and love him for the remainder of my days and beyond. And that was my happily ever after. And Andrew's proposal. Oh, that was sweet. But nothing compares to Damien. I'm sorry, but he is just, yeah. But, yep, so that concludes Andrew's route. I guess that leaves Suzu, Naomi, and the non-romanceable one, I guess. Since we did a nice guy, let's go with Suzu in the next one. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!